Attention today on Austin Faith Dialogue. Please join us.
This is Austin Faith Dialogue, a public affairs program discussing the important crossroad of religion in life, produced by Austin Metropolitan Ministries in cooperation with KTBC TV. Austin Faith Dialogue highlights the interaction of the religious community with the social and cultural issues throughout our area. Now, today's edition of Austin Faith Dialogue.
The Performing Arts Center at the University of Texas is second only to the Lincoln Center in New York City as a venue for world-renowned artists. The Performing Arts Center is also very much at the heart of our community as it reaches out in service to many groups. The Performing Arts Center is an interface with our religious community today, as we are pleased to have Pebble Wadsworth, who is the director of the PAC, with us. And Pebbles, we're glad to have you here on the show.
Well, I'm glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
And like to just have you share a little bit about what people read about in the paper and have perhaps attended, but give us a little bit of a sense of what the Performing Arts Center is from your standpoint.
The Performing Arts Center, from my standpoint, is sort of the cultural heart, I think, of the Austin community. It brings, what it's best known for is bringing the finest artists in the world to Austin, be it dance, be it jazz, be it classical music, etc. It also is the best kept secret in Austin, because what it also does is it's a learning laboratory for the students at the University of Texas. And it's a great community outreach venue for the University of Texas.
All those things. It's
yes.
Outreach, it's a place for people to enjoy the arts directly, it's a learning lab.
What most people think about are the touring artists, and that's what we present. If you look at our resources, only 10% of our resources go towards that activity. 90% of our resources go towards community outreach and education.
Okay.
But what we're known for...
That's the public face that you present.
Yes, the public face is what we're known for in the Austin community.
Well, you know, one of the things that's a delight about our program today is we have several little excerpts from some of the artists that are be coming to your place this year. Let's begin with the first of these, and after we see a few, let's have you give us some commentary.
I'd love to.
So tell us who that is and what that means for you.
Oh, that's one of my favorite people in the world. That's Pinchas Sukerman, and he is probably the greatest living violist and one of the greatest living violinists. And he's coming to not only play a recital in Bates Concert Hall. Normally he plays in big concert halls like Carnegie, like Bass, but we decided we wanted to treat the Austin community to his art in a small, intimate hall. The concert is almost sold out. I think there's maybe 20 tickets left because people realize what a treat it is. He also is going to be working with the UT students in a special project showing high technology and how high technology can help the classical arts. And he's going to be teaching a workshop with 6 violinists and violists, okay? And that is going to be beamed to the University of Texas in Arlington. where students there will be talking with Mr. Zuckerman and interacting with our students here.
You'll be doing a teleconference. Yeah, okay.
And what he's trying to show is that many people today in the arts feel that high technology is a threat. And what it's going to do is take people away from the live performing arts venues. And Mr. Zuckerman is showing how it's a tool and how he can reach more people, and therefore more people will want to come to the live performances after they've seen him teach and have reached out. So it's a really exciting project.
Okay, well that demonstrates at least a couple of the purposes that you were talking about earlier. The next one is a study in contrast to that. Let's take a look at another one of the artists that will be, or group of artists that will be coming to your place this year.
I'm going to tell you about the coming of the judgment. Very well, very well. I'm going to tell you about the coming of the judgment. Very well, very well. There's a better day coming. Very well, very well. There's a better day coming. Very well, very well. In that great in the morning. Very well, very well. In that great in the morning. Very well.
Okay, give us a little feedback on that.
I'm laughing because people say to me, how do you program such a diverse thing? You must have an awful lot of knowledge about the arts. And I always laugh and say, no, what I know is who to go to, who has the best knowledge. And our program is so strong because it's very inclusive in the programming process. That is Albert McNeil Jubilee Singers. And when I lived in Los Angeles, I went to Dr. Beverly Robinson, who taught at UCLA, and said, is there a great who's the greatest gospel group, spiritual group in the United States, because we want to put them on? And she said, honey, I'm picking you up at 8 o'clock Sunday morning, and I'm going to take you down and show you. And she took me to the local church, and there was Dr. McNeil and the Albert McNeil Jubilee Singers. We presented them at UCLA, and they were picked up right away by Columbia Artist Management, and they tour all over the world now. And they are wonderful. They will be performing in the Bass Concert Hall. They will be doing outreach in various church communities, going out to the church and working with the people in the congregations, and going out to the local high schools and working. We have yet to choose which things they're going to be doing, but they'll be here and doing that. And they're just, no matter how bad a day you've had, year you've had, if you go to that concert, you walk out saying, hallelujah. They're wonderful.
Well, it lifts the spirits, and,
Yes.
and I think lifts our consciousness of the kind of variety that you have in your programming there. And we have another one here that takes us in still another direction. Now that wants to make us all stand up and dance, doesn't it?
Yeah, they're wonderful. That's Ballet Folklorico of Mexico, and they will be coming, and last time they were here, they sold out to the rafters, and they also did a children's program, so they'll be coming back this year, and we'll be doing something in the community with them. We co-present them. When I said we work with the community and program with the community, this is an example. We're co-presenting them with La Peña. And La Peña helps us program and said, will you bring back Ballet Folklorico?
And what is La Peña?
La Peña is one of the Hispanic cultural community centers in Austin. And we go to them. We're starting a long marriage with them. They're going to help us program for the Hispanic community so that the University of Texas brings to the Hispanic community who the Hispanic community wants, not who the University of Texas thinks the Hispanic community wants. the same way the Albert McNeil Jubilee Singers are co-sponsored by the Black Arts Alliance. And so we program with the Black Arts Alliance so that we bring the Afro-American community who they want to see. Again, not who the University of Texas thinks the community wants to see.
Okay. Well, you know, as I sit here listening to you and watching these examples of what's going to be on your program this year, I'm amazed at how much time and effort you spend interfacing with the larger community outside the parameters of UT itself. I mean, that's your primary mission. I mean, you're to be instructional and part of the curriculum and all of that there, but you are spending a lot of time out in the Austin greater metropolitan area, aren't you?
Well, we have two missions. Our first mission, you're right, is the education of the students who come to the University of Texas. That's our primary. Our secondary, but it's almost as close as our primary, is to give to the greater Austin community a rich cultural life. And the way to do that is to go to the community and ask the community who they want to see. I like to learn through my mistakes.
Okay.
I was at UCLA 21 years, and we brought Alvin Ailey Dance Company, and I called up the head of the Intercultural Center. It's the Black Arts Center in Los Angeles, the oldest cultural arts center. And I said to Dr. Jackson, would you like to have a workshop of Alvin Ailey in the community? And he said, you've never even been down to this community. If you want to talk, you come down to the community and I'll tell you about programming with the community. So I got in my car, I drove down there, and he gave me what was well-deserved, a lecture about how dare UCLA tell the community what the community wants. Give up some of your ownership. Have the community come in and program with you. Then it will be truly
So that's where
communities.
you began to get that idea of a partnership.
Yes, sir. So now what we do is we have programming committees and groups, and on those groups, I'll give you an example of the World Beat series. There's a World Beat committee, and it has community people on it, faculty on it, staff on it, and students on it. They all meet. They advise me on a series for the World Beat, and then I see if that is economically feasible, if it's state-wise feasible, and go program it.
Okay. And the World Beat means what exactly? I mean, that's...
World Beat is an international series of bringing music from all over the world.
I see. Okay. So it's a part of your larger constellation of programs, but with that emphasis. Okay.
Another one is we have a Broken Spoke series. When I arrived here, I was surprised, maybe horrified, that country music had never been in Bass Concert Hall.
Yeah.
And here we are, the home of country music. So,
yeah, I've noticed you brought that online recently.
right, so not knowing country music, and after living in Austin a while, it became very clear that the home of country music is the Broken Spoke.
That's
and
right.
I went down and...
Well, I mean, if the Queen of England can visit it, you can have it.
Exactly. So I asked James White if he would curate and produce a series for us. And this will be the second year that he's done
that's
it.
great. That's great. Well, we're looking forward to hearing more of how you're programming and how interacting with the community otherwise in just a few moments after we take a short break.
Serving Austin means serving you. That has always been the primary goal of Austin Metropolitan Ministries. We are religion in action through the work of these organizations. Each plays a key role in making the capital city a better place to live, but we can't do it alone. Do you have some spare time, talents, or any resources that you can share? If you do, please call AMM at 472-7627, because serving Austin means serving you.
Welcome back to Austin Faith Dialogue, where today we are focusing upon the Performing Arts Center at the University of Texas with the help of its director, Pebbles Wadsworth. And before the break, Pebbles, we were beginning to take a little bit more of a look of how you're entering into partnership with the community. And I think that means some financial help too, doesn't it? But tell us where you are dollar-wise today.
Dollar-wise, we cover about 42% of our costs by ticket revenue. We try to keep our tickets as low as possible. We offer $12 tickets to all of our events, which means that the rest of it we have to fundraise for. We're going to be going to the community with a campaign to raise an endowment. We desperately need it. We need it programmatically, and we need it for the upkeep of our theaters. Our theaters are considered one of the finest complexes in the country, in the world. They were built in about 1980. There was no endowment put in for the upkeep and the maintenance, and our equipment is getting old. It's beginning to break, and when a light board goes out or a sound board goes out, you're talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. On top of that, we need to continue to put in the state-of-the-art equipment. One, for the audience enjoyment, two, for the students to be trained on, so that our students are going out into the real world knowing how to work the state-of-the-art equipment, not old-fashioned equipment.
And this is all at a time when public financing for the arts is diminishing.
Yes, it is diminishing, and we're going to be going to the people who utilize our program, asking for their help, and we're going to be going to graduates of the University of Texas and asking for their help. The Performing Arts Center is there for all of the Austin community. And I often say, if you took an eraser and you erased the College of Fine Arts from the Austin skyline, how many corporations would stay in Austin? How many people would stay in Austin? I think you'd see lots of people leave Austin because they moved
That's
here.
a reason for them to come.
Exactly. I don't think they realize that, and so they haven't supported the College of Fine Arts and the Performing Arts Center. And it's not their fault. We haven't gone out and asked for their help because we didn't need it when oil prices were high and money was coming in. Now we need it. But the College of Fine Arts is the only college at the University of Texas that every year rolls the dice. Our budget is about $5 million. Now, if our ticket sales go down, if there's a tornado, if something happens politically and people don't come to our concerts, we're going to have to take money from other academic things within the College of Fine Arts.
So it's a little different basis than some of the other departments.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would like to see an endowment where the College of Fine Arts is not taking that risk every year. An endowment would also allow us to do risk-taking programming, producing more works, producing local artists. So our goal, we have a $3 million endowment now, and our goal is $17 million.
Okay.
And we're going to have a big campaign, fun campaign.
Okay, well, we'll give you a little chance to announce that. And in the meantime, you're going to have still another kind of artist coming on board this year that we're going to take a look at here that's a little different from the music scene. So what were we looking at there?
That's Bob Berkey, and he's a clown. And he's coming, and he's on our family series. If you ask many of our professors in the theater and dance department, they would say he's probably the greatest living clown today in this country. And he will be in Bass Concert Hall. He was here last year for weeks working with the students and teaching the students acting and how to relax and how to laugh and all sorts of things. He's going to be coming back, hopefully, if we can raise some money to do this, this October for 10 performances in the public schools, and then he'll come back, and I think it's the spring his concert is, and do a big public performance. He's wonderful. And again, it's showing that art is all inclusive. Lots of people would say clowns at the Performing Arts Center, that's not art. But the circus, clowns, is an incredible art form. So
Well, you're expanding the people's perception of what art is, and beyond music and dance and beyond the classics, and I think that this will generate wider interest and appreciation of what you have to offer there.
well, one of the things is, you know, we're living in an ever-shrinking world where different cultures are ready available. Our communities are becoming very ethnically diverse, and I happen to believe that if there's going to be peace and understanding, it's when people understand each other's cultures. And when you understand somebody's culture, you respect that person. And so part of our program and part of our mission and goals is to help people have the tools to understand different cultures.
Okay. Well, you're helping us understand that a lot today. And we understand that you have some testimonials about the Arts Center from some folks that we'll recognize here as we look at our next footage.
Hello, I'm Isaac Stern. I'm sitting in a seat in this superb facility for music, for theater and dance. A seat that could be yours if you care very much about the quality of life in your city and the quality of civilized education that all young children deserve. The activities of an institution like this one are not just performances. A participation in the arts is not an occasional social happening. It is basic to the quality of the way you see your community and the way others will see your community.
I'm Mel Torme. I love singing in Texas, and particularly singing here is even more enjoyable when I can do it in a world-class facility like Bass Concert Hall. Texans are truly lucky to have this marvelous theater, but we can't afford to take it for granted. We must support the Performing Arts Center if it's to continue to bring the very best to Central Texas.
Hello, I'm Gregory Peck. Recently, I've been traveling to some of the finest theaters in our country to present my live career retrospective. Among my favorite stops was Austin and the University of Texas Bass Concert Hall. It's a marvelous facility, and the people of Central Texas are right to be very proud of it. The Performing Arts Center is leading the nation in the presentation of the lively arts. From the excitement of dance to the beauty of music, the center is doing a superb job in enhancing and invigorating the arts for all of us.
Well, those are glowing testimonials, to say the least.
They are. That's the first time I've seen Mr. Peck's, so I'm very touched.
How did you happen to have opportunity to bring those folks into association with this program?
Well, Mr. Stern and Mr. Torme are very strong acquaintances of mine. I've worked with them over 25 years. And they were very supportive of what we did at UCLA, and were curious of why I left such a wonderful university to come to Austin. And part of that curiosity and support was to come here and play here and support what we're doing. And when they came, they were just absolutely in awe of the theaters and the facilities and the students and the quality of the faculty. And when I told them that we were going to be doing an endowment campaign and a seat campaign, they offered to say some words for it.
So they're aware of the fact that you're going in that direction.
Yes, and very supportive and want to help.
All right. You said that you had the decision to make about coming to Austin after being at UCLA, which I understand has already a well-developed program. And what led you to make that decision?
I was at UCLA 21 years, and I was director there 13 years, and I plan to be there and die happily there. It was the greatest program, I think, in the United States. I was asked if I would be interested in the position here, and the first time I said no. We have a very persuasive dean who convinced me to come look at the facilities, and he kept telling me about the facilities and the faculty, and I kept thinking, oh, everybody exaggerates in Texas. They can't possibly be what he says, but I'll come look. I got here and I met the faculty and the students, and then when I walked into the Bass Concert Hall and saw the facilities, I went, wow. And Dean Whitmore's dream of building a prototype of how to build a College of Fine Arts into the future, how to teach art into the future. I wanted to be part of this team. So I came, and I love Austin, and I love the University of Texas, and the support from Dean Whitmore and Dr. Berdahl. I couldn't ask for more.
Okay, so you're in an opportunity to do some building, and I think that at the top of the show we said this was second only to Lincoln Center as far as being a performing arts venue. Why second?
Well, no, it's second to the Met.
Oh, I see.
In New York, and
Okay.
it's second as a producing entity.
Okay.
Okay, we have our own shops. We have our own costume shops. We have our own costume staff. We have our own tech staff. We have our own building staff. We have our own set designers, and it's only second to the Met because I'm told, now I'm not a technical expert, okay, but I certainly ask the same question, is that we have on our stage we have a rolling platform, and ours is not as high-tech mechanically, okay? So we cannot change our sets as quickly as the Met can.
I see.
So that's why. I would say it's first to it because the Met doesn't have the faculty and the students that we have.
I see.
But that's it. And our facility has never produced, though. The Met produces great operas. Okay? Our facility has yet to produce a major production for Bass Concert Hall. One of the reasons that we want to build an endowment is so we have the funds to let American artists produce in their own country. Most American artists have to go to Europe or Japan to produce. We want to give American artists a home to produce opera, to produce theater, to produce dance.
All right.
And that is our goal at the year 2000, that Austin, Texas will be producing great pieces of work.
Original and creative in that
Yep.
sense.
Yep.
And of course the Lyric Operas, that's their home here for their
Yes.
3 performances
Yes.
each year. So we're glad to look forward to a season that's just going to be full of variety and excitement, and for all of your outreach into the community and enriching our life otherwise. Pebbles Wadsworth, you're a real asset to our community, and
Well, thank you.
we thank you for being on the show today.
Well, thank you for having me. And it's not me that's the asset, it's the whole Performing Arts Center staff and faculty and
Okay.
students.
And we'd like to thank you folks for looking in on this edition of Austin Faith Dialogue. Be with us again next week. I'm Richard Thompson, extending peace to you all.
For more information, call Austin Metropolitan Ministries at 4